right, folks. So George Gascon, the radical district attorney from Los Angeles, literally, okay, is persecuting one of his prosecutors for misgendering a violent felon. All right, a violent felon who, by the way, admits his wacky scheme. All right, I want you to listen to him on a prison call. This is James, quote, Hannah Tubbs and his wacky scheme. Here we go.
With other trannies that have similar cases like mine, or with one tranny like me that has a case like mine.
Okay.
So when you come to court, make sure you address me as her.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be hard, but you have to do it.
Make sure you address me as her? It'll be hard, but you have to do it. It'll be hard because I'm not a her. But he manages to get put ultimately into a juvenile facility at 26 years old because he was convicted for the old crime of 2014. At a 17-year-old, he goes into a juvenile facility, all the while pretending to be a man, and he's got a whole scheme as to why he wants to pretend to be a woman. Excuse me. He's got a whole scheme laid out, and George Gascon buys it and then punishes the prosecutor who calls him a him, basically, because he is.
What we're trying to avoid the registering thing. That's what we're
I
working
know.
hardest to not do.
Yeah, I know, Bubba.
We're also trying to avoid going to prison again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah, because this time if I went in, I'm getting a sex change.
You what?
As I said, this time if I was to go in, I would get the sex change, so I wouldn't be in a man's prison no more.
Yeah.
I'd be in a female's facility. It'd be better.
There's some bitches in there, too.
Oh, it don't matter.
There's some bitches in there, too, and it don't matter, he says. So why would you care about this guy's feelings? He's obviously faking it. You've got the prison call faking it. And now this poor prosecutor, Shay Santa, says that he is suspended without pay, that George Gascon is trying to ruin his credibility, his reputation. He's been demoted. He's been investigated. He's been harassed, all in an effort to stay quiet. And he believes this is retaliation against a whistleblower. Now, the people of Los Angeles have an opportunity to do the right thing here, by the way. The people of Los Angeles have the opportunity to make sure that they go into that they get a prosecutor in place by a man by the name of Nathan Hochman. The people of Los Angeles can vote George Gascon out, and it is high time that they do this, okay? You've got to get this guy out of office because of things like this. You have good prosecutors who are literally being harmed because of this. This prison phone call goes on, by the way. This Hannah Tubbs, and you believe the mainstream media actually calls him Hannah when he is James Tubbs. Listen.
Don't worry about it. It's a strike. But they're going to plead. I'm going to plead out to it. I'm going to plead guilty. They're going to stick me on probation, and it's going to be dropped. It's going to be done. I won't have to register once or nothing.
For an offender, you don't have to register?
I won't have to do none of that.
So what are they going to do to you then?
Nothing.
Well,
if there is the next time I ever get in trouble, I'm leaving the state. I'm leaving the country. I ain't staying.
and this is all about somehow concocting the system to try him as a juvenile because he was 17 years old when he molested the 10-year-old. To try as a juvenile. Now, you tell me, folks, do you want radical prosecutors in your city, in your town, that is literally going after good men and women like Shay Santa, a prosecutor who just wants to put criminals behind bars, and instead he's worried more about the feelings of a faux transgender man convicted of murder and child molestation? No. And so when I ask you this question, I'm asking you to consider this. Who do you get in Kamala Harris? In Kamala Harris, who you get is a radical prosecutor that doesn't like to prosecute crimes now. She wants open borders and the crime is running rampant. We'll talk a little bit about that. But honestly, folks, this needs to be watched, this story. And we're going to try to get Harmeet Dillon on, fabulous lawyer and great fighter and defender of freedom. And she is taking the case of Shea Santa, the prosecutor being persecuted by George Gascon.